Hey, it's episode 42 of the franchise. I'm your host. It's me on the ones and the twos, Daniel Ehrenberg.
And it's me doing a different episode because I'm on episode 41.
Oh, excuse me.
Henry Papali, welcome everybody to the franchise for Rocky 2 and 3.
We are covering Rocky 2 and 3 today. One's a real movie. One's a flight of fancy.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get right into it. These bad boys, both written and directed by auteur extraordinaire Sylvester Stallone.
From the heart.
No, One from the Heart's by Coppola.
He's still paying off that movie.
He is. Yeah. Is that where his Tetro earnings are going?
Yeah, I think everything he runs,
Yeah.
He's still doing it.
Rocky 2, released June 15th, 1979. It's a summer release. You might recall Rocky 1 was released in December. It was like an Oscar release. Now we know how much money these bad boys are going to make, so it's a summer release.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah. I was unable to find the budget of both
Every time
of
you're
movies.
unable to find it, so am I. I looked too.
I did some Googling, could not find it. And what I'm wondering is Stallone hiding this information? I don't know.
Well, the budget is significantly increased.
Oh my God. They look so much more polished.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I mean, every aspect of the movie is more expensive. So we're talking, if that first one was made for $1 million, I mean, I don't know. What do you think? It's still 1979, but what do you think? Closer to pushing like 10 million, maybe?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
maybe.
How much did those Dirty Harry movies cost? I don't know.
Oh man, those are pretty low.
Yeah.
The first ones, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, definitely a severe increase. That's all I'm saying here. But I mean, it doesn't even matter because these are monster hits. Rocky 2 made $200 million, slightly less than the first one.
Yeah.
But I mean, Rocky 3, I mean, we'll get there, but that made $270 million, more than the first one and the second one.
Yeah.
Jesus, people wanted to see these things.
I love them, man.
Yeah, they loved them.
I love them.
So Rocky 2, of course, originally offered to John Avildsen, the director of Rocky 1.
Right.
But he chose to do Saturday Night Fever instead.
But of course, I read that and then quickly realized of my own accord and then double-checked it, he didn't direct Saturday.
Yeah, I know. I guess it was in Turnaround or something. And
something went up there.
Yeah.
That's John Badham.
I think Stallone got him fired off of that. I'm legitimately wondering that because Stallone had the juice at this point. Sure. Well, I mean, he'll really have the juice in part 3. I'm talking steroids, but he had power in Hollywood and clout and like he has to have something to do with that Saturday Night Fever franchise. He ends up directing Staying Alive.
Right, that's what made me kind of think it was a little suspicious.
Yeah. I think he got Avildsen fired off that bad boy.
Yeah, boy, that's vindictive.
Yep, but that's our Sly.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, he directed this himself. Again, he had to fight for it because he had directed his first film, Paradise Alley, which
I never saw it.
I know nothing about this movie.
I think it's a boxing movie.
Is it?
I think, but I could be wrong. I'm going to quickly look at that real quick. But, I thought that it was, but it was a failure. I know that. It did not do well. So that's why they were hesitant to give him this.
Yeah, but I mean, whatever. It's Rocky 2. How bad could it be?
I'm sorry. It was about professional wrestling in the 1940s.
Oh, I kind of want to see that.
And the poster he's wearing, you got it, an earring and like an Irish cap and a leather jacket. So not a huge departure from Rocky.
Yeah. It's close.
It's close.
Yeah,
It's
he's
damn
playing
close.
an Irish wrestler, like Sheamus
Yeah.
or Finlay. There's been a couple. All right, so he writes Rocky 2, original title Rocky 2 Redemption.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been a fun title.
Ah,
That would have never flown though. That wouldn't have fly now in the 70s. But I think nowadays for a sequel, that would absolutely have been the name of the sequel.
but it's so generic. Like you could almost call any sequel whatever
Redemption.
to Redemption.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think they did away with it because that wasn't common practice in the 70s to like add a tag. What do you call it? A subtitle. What's the word I'm talking about?
You know, a dot dot.
A dot dot, like Zack Snyder would say. A dot
Yeah.
dot. Yeah.
Yeah, colon. Yeah, so it just ends up being called Rocky 2, which, you know, that's fine. Simple.
Yeah.
Rocky 2. You know, so huge hit. It's number 3 in the box office for 1979.
Have we done 70? We must have done 79 at some point.
I
but,
don't believe we've done the top 10.
That's possible. Can I guess the?
I have the top 10 written down here. 1979, what do you got?
I'm gonna go. Alien.
Alien is number 6.
Ooh, wow, that's not as high as I thought it would
Yeah, I know.
be. I'd love to say Manhattan, but that probably didn't make any top 10 list.
No, but I will say, number 1 is not a movie you'd think of as a box office success. Like, it's a pretty small scale movie.
For 79, Breaking Away.
No, you love guessing Breaking Away. For
I know,
sure.
it's like I've guessed that like 6 times. It's
Yeah.
never right, not once. Well, I know Apocalypse Now isn't in there.
Yes, it is. That's number 4.
Did it really?
Yeah, people saw that shit.
I didn't really think they did.
Yep.
Oh, and it's like I love that movie. I didn't guess that. A movie that you wouldn't think, but it's a famous movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kramer versus Kramer.
That's correct. That's number 1. The number 1
Wow.
movie of 1979 is Kramer versus Kramer.
A divorce drama.
Yep, we were a much smarter country back then.
I'll say, my
Yeah.
God, that's impressive. Good for you, America.
Yeah,
Wow,
Kramer versus Kramer.
that would never happen now. Jesus.
No, it certainly wouldn't. A divorce drama. Yeah,
Right.
it's like the number 1 film of 2005, The Squid and the Whale. Like,
Still Alice.
yeah.
Alzheimer's movie.
Yeah. No, but that is crazy. So, what else you got? You want me to give you some hints?
Yeah, because 7. Yeah.
Number 10, a real family film. You know, it's got puppets in it.
Oh, Muppets Take Something.
No, just Muppet movie. The
Oh, is
first
that the
one.
first one?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought they took something.
Number 9, it's an MGM franchise.
I always appreciate that.
Yeah,
I've gotten it right every time.
Uh-huh.
Moonraker.
correct.
Your favorite Bond movie.
The worst Bond movie.
Not quite.
Number 8, a great classic comedy. With a wonderful stand-up comedian of the era making his feature film debut.
Is that going to be a Richard Pryor film?
No,
Um,
a white stand-up comedian.
White stand-up comedian of the 70s. Boy, I don't know.
It's The Jerk.
Oh, wow, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though I own 3 of his albums as a stand-up comedian, I still never, as soon as I think Steve Martin, that's not the first thing I think of. I think of movies. I don't think of him as a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. Stand-up guy.
He signed one of my LPs.
I know, I remember that. Number 7, a film starring an actress who was famously statutorily raped and then stayed with her rapist for the rest of his life.
Whoa. Jesus. There's a lot to process in that statement.
Sure.
Stayed with him for the rest of his life.
Yep, that's right. She's still around. Hey, Hank, it's a perfect what?
Storm.
10, you idiot.
Blake Edwards?
10! It's 10.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
Oh, okay.
I got it. He directed by Blake Edwards.
I don't know. Who
it is.
statutorily raped Bo Derek?
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't
Oh,
know
you didn't
about
know that?
No.
Yeah.
So Blake Edwards did that?
I don't remember, but Bo Derek, she married a guy when she was 15, and they stayed together for a really long time.
But you said he was involved in the movie.
No, I just said the actress, the lead actress.
I'm sorry. I thought you said that she. Okay, I get it. I'm sorry. I thought I was like Blake Edwards. I thought he was
working with a numbskull over here.
Well, I didn't make the connection.
Let's not denigrate the good name of Blake Edwards.
No, I didn't mean to. Yeah. And then I was like, Dudley Moore? What? No. What is he talking about?
Oh, all right. God.
I didn't know Bo Derek that happened to her. I never heard that in my life.
Yep. It was a statutory romance. 6 is Alien. We already talked about that. 5 is the first in a long-running franchise that is still going to this day.
Well, I said Alien already.
Yeah.
Franchise is still going to this day.
Sure, one came out last year. It was nominated for an Oscar, even.
I don't know.
It's Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah. All right. 4 is
one of my least favorite Star Trek movies.
Yeah, it's a boring one.
Yeah.
People say it's underrated, though. Maybe we'll find out when we cover that franchise.
Yeah, it has been a long time.
Yeah. Same here. 4 is Apocalypse Now. 3 is Rocky 2. We did number 1, Kramer versus Kramer. Down to number 2. I cannot believe how big a hit this movie was.
Gotta help me out here.
It's a horror film. The first in another pretty long-running franchise.
Okay, well, I know it's not The Omen. I know it's not The Exorcist. Amityville Horror?
Correct. Well done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I needed to get one.
Sure. Hey, you got a couple. You got Kramer versus Kramer.
Yeah, that's true. That was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Amityville Horror, okay.
All right, so let's talk about Rocky 2. Now, Rocky 2 is like an actual movie. Now, this is a weird series because it's like Rocky 1 is a legitimate film.
Yeah.
Then there's a lot of movies in this series that are just garbage. Like, I mean, not that they're bad, just that they're not movies. Like, they're trying to entertain you.
They're training exercises.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I mean, and we'll get.
We'll get to it next week, but
we'll get to it this week.
Okay, we'll get to it this week. But, yeah, but by any stretch of the imagination, I don't want to speak to 5 yet because it's been many years, many decades since I've seen that all the way through. But I mean, I know for a fact I love 4, and I don't know what merit there is in loving that movie, but I know I love
none whatsoever.
Right, but in terms of like a Rocky movie, what's there not to like?
But well, that's what I'm saying. It's a weird series because it's like there's 7 of them. Yeah. And 4 of them are trying to be movies, like good movies.
You're saying Rocky, Rocky 2, Balboa, and Creed.
Correct.
Right.
And then there's 3 of them that are just bonkers.
Yeah.
And so,
well, I could start off real quick with just. Would you want to start with 2 with the plot, or?
Sure, why not? I mean, Rocky. I mean, let's go through it chronologically. We start Rocky 2. With one of my favorite sequel tropes we talked about in Friday the 13th, previously on Rocky.
Yeah, I didn't care for that. It's a full. I timed it. It was a full 5 minutes of recap.
Yeah,
of the
including like the full final sequence of Rocky.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't care for that. This was a movie for me that I really altered my opinion because of all the Rocky movies I have seen the most. I have seen the first one, the second one, and the fourth one. The rest I've only seen in Rocky speak a couple of times, which, like, in our culture, it's, everyone feels like they've seen them all 100 times. But I remember Rocky 2 seeing it a lot because it used to play. This is kind of a real crank situation. You know how you said you used to get up for work and that was always on?
Yeah.
I remember when I was in high school, every time I got home from high school, it was on Encore all the time. And I saw Rocky 2 ad nauseum, and I fucking loved it. I loved it. And so I still thought I would have, like, kind of that, it's like a really awesome, perfect sequel. And, I didn't, and I really kind of thought I would still think that. And I didn't.
Listen to you, nostalgia buster.
It was actually, it was a nostalgia buster. Yeah. I didn't hate it, but it was not what I thought it was.
I hope you didn't hate it, because I liked it.
No, I liked it too, but it wasn't what I kind of thought going in. I was like, this is going to be an automatic 4-star for me, and then it was really not.
You're going under 4?
Yeah.
I'll say right now, I'm going 4. So that's interesting to me that I would like Rocky 2 more than you.
Yeah, I'm going 3.
Okay.
So now I did write next to it. Sometimes I qualify them, and because we don't do halvesies. But I did write a strong 3 stars.
All right.
No, but that means something. It's not like I just was like, it wasn't a blah, like, oh, blah, 3 stars, whatever. No, I dug, because it's got a lot of great parts to it.
It does, and it has a lot of things that annoyed me, but I think it earns the 4. I mostly liked it. And I think Stallone does a pretty good job mimicking Avildsen's style.
Yeah, I think in this particular movie, I made a note, I think he's a better director than a writer.
I think that's true, mostly.
Yeah, I like
yeah, I guess so, because some of the directing things I didn't like are because of the writing. Like,
exactly.
The part where Rocky's, like, spending all the money he made from the fight, and there's, like, just, like, a series of short scenes of him spending money.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like shit, and he does screen wipes to, like, go between.
Yeah, and I didn't even remember that. I didn't remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's more of a script problem, I guess, than a directing problem. All right, so we start out our sequel with Rocky going to the hospital straight from the fight in Rocky 1, and I'm thinking our lead's going to a hospital. This bodes well. I like sequels where this happens. I'm looking at you, Halloween 2.
Sure.
Yeah. Then Rocky recovers. He takes Adrian to the zoo. And you see, Rocky's a gentle soul because he likes animals.
Right. And he loves taking dates on freezing cold weather, outdoorsy type thing.
And never shutting up. He's just as impossible to hang out with as he was in the first one.
Yeah, I thought of it. I thought of that.
Yeah, so in this one, he's like, hey, Adrian. Hey, yo, Adrian. It's a catchphrase now, so I say it about 15 times in this movie.
More than that.
Yeah, see, I said, yo, Adrian, in that first one, and it seemed to catch on, so that's what I say.
Hey, Tiger. Hey, Tiger, you getting cold? I like the zoo, because, Daddy, you like the zoo? Yeah.
I was wondering if you wouldn't mind maybe marrying me, huh?
Okay, Rocky.
Yeah, by the way, Adrian's such a fucking shrinking violet in these movies. In Rocky 2, I think Adrian has like 3 lines of dialogue the entire movie, and it's always just like, love you too.
Right. Win.
Yeah, it's like that's the conflict between Rocky and Adrian in Rocky 2. Rocky's like, "Hey, yo, Adrian, that's how I'm gonna begin every sentence in this movie."
Yeah,
hey,
but she turns into a Connie Corleone by the 3
well,
and 4.
we will get there. Rocky 2, though, it's like, "Hey, yo, Adrian, I think we should buy this house, huh? I think we should maybe live in a house. Know what I'm saying? Well, hey." And she's like, "I don't know, it's expensive." And she's like, "Get in the fucking kitchen, whore. We're gonna buy this house." And she's like, "I love you, Rocky."
Is that a direct quote? I didn't write it down.
No, it's not. But there is the part where like Rocky spends all his money like an idiot. And so they're like out of money, and
although a lot of athletes, it's quite accurate on that front.
Oh, sure. Watch the 30 for 30 broke about
I
that.
saw it. Yeah.
Adrian says like, "Hey, Rocky, I can always go back to work at the pet store."
Yeah.
A rational thing to say. And Rocky's like, "Hey, no, fuck you." And she's like,
and
"No."
then it's like, "Yeah, you better do it because we're gonna be broke. We're pretty broke."
Yeah, but then that scene ends with him going like, "I'm gonna finish my workout. Go make dinner." Rocky 2 and 3 is just such like a fever dream of Sylvester Stallone about his perfect life.
Oh God. Yeah.
I love it. So he proposes to her at the zoo. And then after that, there's like they're walking out of the zoo, like walking away from camera, and Sylvester Stallone goes like, yeah, it's like Tarzan, know what I'm saying? I'm king of the jungle, like that tiger down there, know what I'm saying? Hey, and that's a big problem for me with these movies directed by Sylvester Stallone. Any Sylvester Stallone ad-lib is staying in the locked picture. There are so many lines that were definitely not in the script that he just came up with on set. Was like,
oh, you think so?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Well, you kind of skipped over the Apollo and him in the hospital thing. Which
there's that one nice moment. Hey, Apollo, did you give me everything?
Right. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I did. But, that was preceded by Apollo going off on him in front of the reporters saying he wants a rematch. I thought you said there wasn't going to be no rematch. And poor Carl Weathers is like, well, but that you hired me for the fucking sequel, man.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It was like, I thought there wasn't going to be no rematch. It's just Sylvester Stallone covering his ass. I wrote that beautiful moment in the first one, but then it was a huge hit, so I have to justify the fact that there's definitely a rematch. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's so insane that he would... This movie... I mean, the first fight between Rocky and Creed in the first movie felt like an actual boxing match.
Yeah.
The shit in this movie is just insane. I mean, the strategy even before the fight, where like Mickey's like, "Well, in the next month, I'm gonna teach you how to fight using the arm you've never used in your life."
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah. I want to make a point for our listeners with some really interesting article I read that I had never read before. It was a Roger Ebert watching Rocky 2 with Muhammad Ali. And you can Google it, and it's a fascinating article. And it has like Ebert and Ali watching the movie together and Ali commenting on every aspect of the movie, which he ultimately really liked. But it's just fascinating. And so it's got Ali talking about how like ridiculous that is in itself. Like he says, like how you could learn to fight with the other hand if you started when you were like 17.
Of course, yeah.
And
it's insane.
He makes a lot of interesting points. And
Rocky's supposed to be 34.
Right. And then I read that they actually only threw that in there because Stallone hurt his right hand during production, so that's actually why they did that. They switched it around because he couldn't throw a punch with the he couldn't jab or something.
I read that and took it with a grain of salt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You think that's like an excuse?
Yeah.
Why excuse? Well, why excuse?
I don't think
that?
it's an excuse. I just think that was probably in the script. That seems like an idea Stallone would have. A stupid one, but an idea.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the fight at the end of this movie, Rocky gets punched in the head 1,000 times. He would die.
Well, here's what I wrote. It's actually, I don't know why it's my final note. I think I wrote it after the movie. The first one does this a little bit, but it works because the fight's short. And I wrote in huge letters, can't these guys block punches?
No, they never put their fucking gloves up.
Right.
They're
I mean,
just
like,
punching each other in the head.
As somebody who has watched a significant amount of, I would actually say I watched a significant amount of boxing. I like boxing. I'm not like a hardcore follower, but I don't know if you know that about me. But like I have a couple of DVDs of the great fights, and and when you turn on a boxing match, I mean, sometimes you're waiting forever for a fighter to land a punch.
Yeah.
And this is just...
Oh, they're never hugging each other in this movie. They're just dancing around the fucking ring, punching each other in the head. It is insane. And here's something I noticed in the closing credits of these movies.
Ooh.
Boxing choreographer
Sylvester
Stallone.
I noticed that too. I noticed that in either this one or the three. One of them I stuck around for the full credits. Yeah.
It was 3 because they're playing Eye of the Tiger, and there's that beautiful splash painting.
Oh yeah, by Leroy Neiman.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
And another one funny thing. I want everyone to read the article, but one other funny thing I found fascinating, which I never knew, was that Muhammad Ali says that boxers don't lift weights. He said it's the worst possible thing you could ever do for your arms as a boxer. Yeah, and of course there's a lot of weightlifting going on in all of the Rocky movies.
Oh, because Sly loves lifting them weights.
Right.
Yeah.
So
he
that
looks
was
great doing it. I mean, what else can we talk about? I want to go back to the weird spending money montage.
Sure.
Because what I would like to talk about, Rocky has upgraded his jacket.
Oh my God. Yeah.
He has a giant tiger on the back of his jacket.
Or downgraded in taste. Yeah.
It is awful.
Yeah, it's a real Warriors type of jacket going on there.
You know what it reminded me of?
What?
The Hotel Satan jackets that they were wearing in the Deadpool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh. I bet they kited that from Rocky 2's set. Yeah,
maybe.
They went over there. Yeah, they went over and took it.
That tiger. Every time, I mean, there's like serious scenes in this movie where he's wearing that jacket. And every time, like, we're looking at the other person and, like, it's Rocky from behind, he just has a tiger on his back.
Can you see the eyes of the tiger?
Now, I wondered whether Eye of the Tiger was written because of that jacket.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, what else was Survivor doing?
Survivor, that's right.
Probably just watching Rocky 2 and going, you know what, guys, let's just go off the jacket. You know.
Yeah.
Because as many times as Rocky in this one says, "Yo, Adrian," Carl Weathers is saddled with the unfortunate task of saying "Eye of the Tiger" 1,000,000 times.
Oh well, that's in the third one. Yeah. Nathaniel Safran and I, we hosted a podcast about the TV show Survivor together, Surviving Survivor, and we had an idea after that was over. Like, what if we do a new podcast? That's just each episode is a review of a different album by the band Survivor. And that could also be called Surviving Survivor.
That'd be a short podcast.
I don't know. I don't know how many albums they have.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But yeah, it was pretty good.
It's a bad jacket. I was gonna get into since we're pretty much into the movie there. One of the things that I think were detrimental, which is something I thought was good 20 years ago, but now I don't like it, was the serious upgrade in the budget for everything affects everything. If you could see it in the lenses, you could see it in the sets. I don't think I've ever mentioned lenses, but like they're so.
No, it's true. Everything's a little brighter, like falsely brighter. Like
the music gets a huge upgrade in the quality of the recording. Like, and now they've added a children's choir to sing "Gonna Fly Now,"
and a weird fucking fast disco drum.
Right, and a guitar solo.
Someone's wailing on the hi-hat.
Yeah. And, I guess in a way it's appropriate because the kids all follow him, and it's kind of a cool scene.
The worst sequence of this
movie. So you didn't like, because it's ridiculous?
Okay, we said we were going to, grade or, rate the...
the training sequence.
Yeah, so...
What'd you think of this one? Because I thought it had ups and downs.
I think it starts out great because we're also seeing Apollo training.
Yes. Yeah.
Which I dig. So it's like Rocky training in Mickey's shitty gym, and Apollo training in his palatial gym, they call it.
Right.
And that's cool. And then it ends with a sweet ass freeze frame. But then it continues after the freeze frame, and we see Rocky running with a horde of children behind him.
Yeah.
It looks like the fucking zombies in World War Z. And they're just chasing after him. And where these kids' parents, where are they wondering what's happening to these kids? A whole bunch of kids are going to come home tonight. Like, where were you? I thought I might run with this boxer.
We were running with Rocky. I think Dyfus was probably called at some point.
Who?
Oh, is that a New Jersey thing? I thought that was a federal. Dyfus, it's like the Child Protection Services Agency.
Oh, I don't know. Jesus.
Dyfus.
It is ridiculous. And then that ends with a freeze frame, too. And it's at that point.
So you didn't care for so the kids are running with them, and the kids' choir is playing along. And so while the orchestration, and here's me going a little bit on the music, while the orchestrations are tighter and louder and bigger, and you got a Mahler-esque type thing happening here, it's oddly not nearly as powerful as the first running sequence in the first movie, where he's just running to a couple of female voices, right? It's not much more than that.
It's ridiculous. It's overblown. He's doing hurdles over park benches.
Yeah, pigeons are flying.
Yeah, it's insane. It ends on that freeze frame, and I love that it's two sequences in a row with the freeze frame ending. And then I was starting to think they should do a Rocky movie where every single scene ends on a freeze frame.
Every scene
in the entire movie.
Maybe they do when we get later. I don't
know. Let's get to Rocky 5. I think I was so into the training montage. I was ready to say it might be better than the first one.
I was too.
And then the kids start running with him. I am out. Points off.
Yeah, for me it was the kids, but it was also the music. I missed the low budget Bill Conti stuff. I missed that. It was more powerful.
I agree.
And also him going to the top of the steps alone is just somehow more moving.
Yeah, I agree. All the music in Rocky 2 is more overblown than the first one. And how about we get another appearance from the great Frank Stallone?
Oh, yeah.
And he's developed a real doo-wop group.
He really has.
And they are just singing around a flaming barrel. It's a fucking flaming barrel, and they're singing. And Rocky's making requests. I'm like, Rocky, buy these guys some food.
I know, man. Like, set them up in a studio, make them the next Frankie Valli.
Or
Am I right?
at least get them a 40.
Yeah. Buy them a 40 and a fireplace, and they might be happier. I mean, they're singing like it's 1932 Depression era.
It's not even. He's got to. They're like the neighborhood jukebox.
Right.
It's like Stallone saw American Graffiti, and he was like, "Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
That's what I want my life to be like."
So let's get into something here. We've been pretty much shitting on this, and I don't mind, but you gave this movie 4 stars. Tell me why.
I thought it was a real movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, you got to give me more than that.
It's totally contrived, but oddly credible.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they earn him winning at the end. And there's enough good sequences, like the cross-cutting between him and Apollo. And I loved the scene before the fight where he stops off at the priest's apartment,
love that too.
Father Carmine.
That I always remembered liking, and I still loved it.
It's great.
I'm so late, I gotta go, but could you just give me, like, I don't know, in case I get too beat up out there, maybe just to give me a blessing.
Yeah, it's...
Rocky, what are you doing? You gotta get to the fight.
It's great. I love
my Italian brethren.
Carmine, yeah.
When they're not being portrayed as gangsters, Italians, at least in this movie, are not making pasta, so at least they're,
Hank, did I ever tell you the tale of the 2 Carmines that fought?
No.
This is one of my favorite things that's ever happened to me.
All right.
I was on the drunk train home from the city, coming to Long Island from the city at like 2 in the morning or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those trains where everyone on it is drunk.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who stood up, and there was another guy sitting with his girlfriend, and he started commenting on this guy's girlfriend and how fat she was.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So this guy, of course, had to defend his girlfriend.
Yeah.
So he gets up, and they start, like, yapping at each other. And he goes, "What's your fucking name?" And the one guy goes, "My name is Carmine. What's your name?" And the other guy goes, "Oh, my name's Carmine too." And they got into a fist fight on the train. It was unbelievable. I was watching this whole thing, and then one of them got off at the Jamaica station, and the one with the girlfriend was just like stewing in his seat, and he just kept muttering to himself, drunk, "Fucking Carmine." Like,
oh my God.
It's his own name. It's amazing. Yeah. Carmine versus Carmine. It's one of my favorite things I've ever witnessed.
That's a movie. That's a short film at something.
Sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
The things you see. Wow, man. A Tale of 2 Carmines. I've never heard you tell that story. It's great.
I love that story.
It doesn't make me even prouder of my Italian-American brethren, but that's okay.
Doesn't make me any prouder of Long Island.
I gotta say, one of my favorite scenes in the movie is my main man, who I gave a little shout out to in the first one, Tony Burton, gets a little bit more to say in this movie. Apollo's trainer.
Yeah.
When he is kind of lecturing Apollo about, Apollo's has that great line that Carl Weathers delivers perfectly, where he's like, "Man, I won, but I didn't beat him." I love that. And Tony Burton's kind of gets in front of his face and just says, "I seen that man get beat like I ain't never seen no man get beat, and the man just kept coming." And I just love that. He just really delivers that well.
Carl really Weathers delivers everything perfectly.
No, but that's a Tony
I know
Burton
that's a Tony Burton line, but you were saying about Carl Weathers earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't say enough how much I love Carl Weathers.
And the fight sequence too. I love when, it's so intense in the fight sequence when and they should cut to Tony Burton. They're cutting to both trainers constantly.
Great.
But one of the ones they cut to Tony Burton, and it's like heart-wrenching when he yells. You remember when he yells? He's like, "Apollo, stay away from him." It's just so good. And I got to give credit to Stallone. That's that's a directing choice to like cut to those Mickey and to Tony Burton.
Yeah, look, I think Rocky 2. It's a fun movie. It works for me. I think.
How do you like Paulie in Rocky 2? Same.
Yeah, I prefer Paulie in Rocky 3, to be honest.
Yeah, well, he gets a lot more to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't need him in Rocky 2. He's like... Is Rocky 2 the one where he's drunk at... No, that's Rocky 3. No, I like him way more in Rocky 3.
Right, I knew what you were going to go say.
Yeah.
It's funny, though. Isn't it interesting how they do show that, like, in Rocky 2, and I'm having the same confusion you are, but I believe it's Rocky 2, where Stallone, Rocky sells him his car.
Yeah, well, that's because he needs money.
Right, but it's funny how prosperous Paulie is doing as at the same job that Rocky was not good at, because Rocky didn't want to hurt people, but clearly Paulie has no compunction.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Paulie's walking around with cash and nice suits, and he's doing very well as a
Paulie never had to be in any of these movies. Let's be honest, and he continues being in them, and they never know quite what to do with him. In Rocky 2, Paulie's doing well enough to buy Rocky's car, but by Rocky 3, he's begging Rocky for a job.
Yeah, I didn't get that. They didn't explain that though at all.
No,
yeah. Maybe by 1980, or well, the movie takes place, 81? Maybe by 81, the loan shark business on the docks was getting cleaned up.
Yeah, that's true. It's funny that the mob guy is in Rocky 2 a lot. He keeps going to Rocky like, hey, you can always work for me.
Right.
And you think that's going to turn into something. And you even see him at the boxing match at the end.
Yeah, and he
got a fucking ticket. Adrian and Paulie are sitting at home.
I know. He's gone by 3, so he's probably in jail.
Or dead.
Or dead. He's in the waterfront. He's on the waterfront.
Yeah.
But he has a good line in the movie too, though. When he visits Rocky in the gym, and he looks at the poster, and just says real quick, he says, "Hey, Rock, remember that guy?"
Yeah.
And it's like, I like that.
That's good.
Good line.
That's a good scene. There's a few scenes in Rocky 2 where Sylvester Stallone is at his best as an actor, too. And that's one of them. And the other one is when he goes to ask Mickey for a job at the gym. He's got his dog with him.
Yeah.
And Mickey, tests his sight.
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good scene.
That's not in the gym. That's in Mickey's apartment. Yeah.
No, I'm saying he asks for a job working in the gym.
Right, but when he does that eye thing with his finger.
I know.
Okay.
But he's also asking for a job working in the gym. And that's
working in the gym, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but okay.
You're driving me nuts today.
Well, you're not being accurate. You're saying it takes place in a gym.
That's not what I said.
I'm going to call our editor and...
I'm our editor!
Yeah, I know. You have to review that sequence. Did you like that we got to see Mickey's apartment in this one?
I don't care.
I like to see that he still lives in a shithole.
Yeah.
By Rocky 3, he's being put up.
I'll tell you what. The big thing we learn about Rocky in Rocky 2 is that he dropped out of high school in 9th grade.
That's true.
And can't read.
Yeah, I didn't like any of those sequences.
All my suspicions about Rocky turn out to be correct. And then Rocky is trying to learn how to read. I mean, it's like something out of In Her Shoes. And remember that movie? Cameron Diaz learns how to read. And it's ridiculous. And then he learns how to read well enough that by reading and writing poetry, he revives Adrian from a coma.
Yeah.
It is insane.
That was a touch too much for me.
Just a touch.
Just a touch.
Oh my God, the poetry he is writing, where every line rhymes, it's amazing. He's
don't think it's a ring because I ain't got a ding.
Yeah,
but I have you hot and you got me real smart.
Yeah, it is like that.
I just made that up, but that's probably better than what he said.
I met you in the pet store. When you wake up, you'll make me dinner, you whore.
You rhymed whore with store.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yeah, I like to take you to the zoo. Fucking.
We'll go see a kangaroo.
Oh yeah, and I love you too. Yeah, you. You bought me a jacket with a tiger, and then I'll be inside her.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh my.
You taught me how to read. I'm gonna fight Apollo Creed.
I'll help you move the chicken feed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so she goes back to work and basically goes into a coma because he's so stupid. He spends all their money and she has to work. And
she gives birth to their baby, which is great. To which Rocky says, "Yo, Adrian, you did it."
You did a real good job.
Real good job.
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. You did this. I don't know if Rocky knew how procreation worked.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't know.
Yo, you pushed him right out of your cooter.
He's got a head full of hair like a bear, but I don't care.
Oh.
Because he's there.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I enjoy it.
I'm glad. I am glad. Look, I'm glad that this is one of the only times I think where you have denigrated a movie so much, but clearly have a real soft spot for it.
I've got affection, and it's not really nostalgia. I didn't watch the Rocky movies as much as you did growing up, but I had like a good time watching Rocky 2. I will say it's too long.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah, well, that middle sequence just is her coma sequence.
Goes on forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's ridiculous. And it's funny, it's weirdly too long, because there's a lot of shit in this movie they do really quickly. They get married in like 2 seconds. She's pregnant for like 5 minutes.
Right.
But then you spend a lot of time on shit you wouldn't expect them to, like him, spending all his money and shit. There's a long sequence of him making a commercial.
That is awful.
No, I love it.
That is awful. I had forgotten about that sequence. It goes on way too fucking long.
I love it, though. There's my favorite line in the entire movie, Henry.
What's that?
This is my favorite moment in Rocky 2.
Okay.
He's recording a commercial about, it's like an aftershave.
Yeah.
And he's reading cue cards.
Yeah.
And he goes, "It makes me smell manly."
Smell mainly.
But just the idea that Rocky...
Sorry, I didn't want you to get mad at me again.
I lost it. I lost it laughing at that. The fact that Rocky cannot read the word smell.
I gave it... I chalked it up to his detached retina.
Yeah, whatever. From now on, Henry, I want to... Anytime I have to say the word smell, I want to pronounce it smeal.
Go ahead.
I'm going to.
Anytime you want to say manly, you can say mainly.
Yeah, it makes me smell mainly. It's great.
I wanted to quickly point out also one of the sequences that was one of those surreal moments where I was watching it, and then it dawned on me the absurdity of the scene. I don't know if you're gonna. Actually, I think you'll agree with me. But did you realize after they get married, he carries Adrian all the way home?
Yeah, he says it's good for a boxer. It's like training.
I don't think it is. I think it would be very bad for a boxer. But also, I mean, how far away is the church? It goes on for a long time. Like, I'm listening to their dialogue, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. He's carrying her. And then I'm like, wait, he's still carrying her.
Yeah.
And still carrying her all the way home. It's very odd.
Yo, Adrian, most new husbands, they carry their new wife across the threshold. I'm gonna carry you across Philadelphia, hey.
I mean, if he had to go across the Ben Franklin Bridge, I mean, that's a lot. You know, it's like 10 miles.
Yeah, it's like when Forrest Gump went running.
Oh, God. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But carried Jenny the whole way.
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Yeah.
They're probably about equal in education, right? Forrest Gump and Rocky?
Yeah, and Rocky 2 is about as good as Forrest Gump.
Rocky 2's better than Forrest Gump.
Maybe. Okay, let's wrap it up. Rocky 2, 4.
3.
Okay. MVP.
I'm going to give it to Carl Weathers.
Me too, baby.
Yeah, okay, I wasn't sure.
Carl Weathers.
Burgess Meredith has a lot of nice scenes. The one in the church was close for me to give it to him.
I actually agree. He would be my runner-up.
Yeah, but I'm giving it to him. I have an LVP that I wanted to give for all Rocky movies.
Okay.
But I changed my mind. I actually do have a real LVP.
Okay.
But you want to hear my stock LVP?
Okay, who is it?
Frank Stallone.
Oh, that's what I'm going with.
Okay, but then that was supplanted because I just couldn't take the derogatory stuff about Italians.
Oh God.
Hey man, you know, if they were knocking Jews the whole time, you'd be upset too.
Depends who it is.
Yeah. No, I know. No, it bothered me because it's just like I think it was clearly ad-libbed by this dickhead commentator. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, I thought that was funny.
Well, you would.
Wait, but, what's the line?
This place is a madhouse. The Spectrum. My goodness. I don't think I've ever seen this many Italians in one place.
Yeah, but then the other announcer says, I don't think you should say that.
He says, you said it, not me.
Right. And that to me just, you know what it reminded me of?
What?
It made me think of like the dynamic between Fred Willard and his co-commentator in Best in Show.
Yeah, sure, but this is like serious.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. He's a racist piece of shit.
Whatever. You know, go cry about it to your mother, you stupid wop dago.
All right. Thanks for joining us, folks.
You can call me a kike.
Hey, no, I got to defend I don't get, sometimes I have to defend one half of my people.
Okay.
Because along with your people, there's in movies, man. You got a lot of we talk about the Asian stereotypes and the Mexican stereotypes and the Arab stereotypes, but the Italian and the Irish stereotypes, man, they are plentiful throughout cinema.
But the Italian stereotype is that they're badass mobsters.
Yep, I know, but that's a warped history but whatever. Who cares? I'm not even getting it. This isn't even about that. I'm just saying it's like you have to
whatever.
have
you Italians have the best movies and TV shows. I hate when Italian people complain like The Sopranos portraying us as mobsters. Like fuck you. You got The Sopranos.
Well, would you
There's
like
no
if every
Jewish Sopranos?
Would you like if every movie depicting Jewish people were like depicting them as diamond-selling bankers?
Every movie depicting Jewish people though just depicts them as nebbishy weasels. Like
that's not true.
Anxious fucking weirdos.
That's like, Woody Allen. That's
it's everything. Even like Seth Rogen movies.
Oh, but they're not. I don't think so. I don't think that's accurate. We'll have this conversation off air because it interests me. I've never talked to you about that, about the depiction of Italians and Irish. They're always kind of just stock thing. But having said all that, I did say, and I would say again, I like that Rocky is Italian, that he's Rocky Balboa. They didn't make him Lincoln Hawk.
No, he's the Italian stallion.
Yeah, I mean, I like that. I think he's a hero. It's great. He's like a Rocky Marciano, Rocky Graziano type thing. But
sure.
I just, it annoys me when waspy white people make comments like that.
Are you talking to me?
No. I'm talking about-
the announcer. I gotcha.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
you're not a waspy white person.
No, I know.
But Frank Stallone. Yeah.
I'm not even white in Trump's America.
No, you're not.
No.
I don't know that I am either. Take a look at my last name. I think I'd get deported.
Hey, Papali. All right.
Yeah. When did I come over the river?
Sure.
All right.
They see that Berg. I'm hiding in the attic.
You got that? So I got no superhero counts because it just there's nobody doesn't cut nobody just the crossovers from the first one. Which
Judge Dredd.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to hear them, folks, listen to the other episodes.
Sure. And you should anyway. It was a good episode.
Yeah, it was. I
Yeah.
liked that episode. It was fun.
All right. Rocky 3 comes out another 3 years later. They're on a 3-year schedule at this point.
Yeah. True.
May 28th, 1982. Monster hit at $270 million. After getting shut out at the Oscars for Rocky 2, Rocky 3 makes its triumphant return with a nomination for Eye of the Tiger.
That is true. Ain't that something?
Yep, Eye of the Tiger making its debut in Rocky 3 by Survivor. Do you know what song it lost the Oscar to?
No, I don't.
Love lifts us up where we belong.
Oh! Sure, from An Officer and a Gentleman.
That's right. Okay. I have here the top 10 movies at the box office for 1982.
I feel like we didn't cover 82 when we did Friday the 13th, huh?
Those Friday the 13th movies were never in the top 10.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
1982. That's not a great year for me. So go ahead. Start me off.
Number 10, it's a musical about a child.
Annie.
That's correct.
Okay.
Number 9, it's about... I mean, it's so weird that this is in the top 10. It has kind of a swear word in the title.
Really?
Yep, takes place down south.
Does it have the word hell in it?
No. Worse.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn?
Nope, it's the best little whorehouse in Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Isn't that crazy? Number 9?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's wow.
All right, number 8, the start of a horror franchise, and a great movie.
Is 82 Nightmare on Elm Street?
I believe that's 84.
Okay. I don't know.
Poltergeist.
Oh, Jesus Christ, of course. I always forget how early that was. 82, yeah.
Mhm. Number 7, a buddy comedy.
Buddy cop comedy?
Yep.
82, buddy cop comedy. Just a kind of a one-off?
Nope, there was a sequel.
48 Hours.
Correct.
One of my favorite movies, which we will cover.
Number 6, the sequel to a movie that was on the 1979 list. And it's not The Jerk 2. Even though that did exist.
You're stretching my memory back like 40 minutes. I don't know.
It's Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Number 5, a movie about drinking and tits. Yeah.
Who's
There were
who's
some
in it?
sequels.
Porky's?
Correct.
Wow, look at me.
Yep. Rocky 3 comes in at number 4. Number 3, the Oscar winner for Best Song.
An Officer and a Gentleman.
Correct. Number 2, one of the most overrated comedies of all time.
Ooh, looking forward to this.
And I would say an actively bad movie that frequently ends up on lists of the best films ever made.
Oh, I think I'm in complete agreement with you if it's what I think it is. Are you talking Tootsie?
I am talking Tootsie.
Oh, man, do I agree
Fuck
with you on
Tootsie.
that. I agree.
What a garbage movie.
I agree. It is garbage.
Yeah.
I agree. It is not funny. Ugh.
Yeah.
God. And that you're right. That movie is like fucking revered.
It sucks.
Ugh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. And number one, it's another overrated, revered film that's on best movies of all time lists, but not as
Whoa.
overrated as Tootsie. It's like, I like this movie, it's just people think it's like, it's shit don't stink.
Well, I think I got the wrong year. I was going to say Reds.
No, I love Reds.
Yeah, I love Reds too. That's 81, I think.
That's underrated.
Well, people give it its due, don't you think?
Not enough.
All right, help me out a little bit. I want to get this one.
Family film. Yep. It's got
Who's
a dot in the middle of the title.
Who's in it?
I'll give it away.
Who directed it?
Steven Spielberg.
Do I hate this movie?
I think you do.
Yes, I do. This is E.T., right?
Yep, E.T. the Extraterrestrial.
Fuck that movie.
Hey, Henry, I have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to give you...
Oh, God.
I'm going to give you Henry minute.
I have to as well, but I'm holding it. But you must have to
I
go.
I can't.
All right, go ahead.
All right, go ahead.
Rocky 3. We're getting some Mr. T action, folks, in Henry's corner. We're getting some Hulk Hogan. I don't want to steal Danny's thunder, but we're getting some Thunder Lips action, which might be the worst wrestling name I've possibly ever heard. I have never seen Porky's, I will say that, and I'm sure that we'll be covering that at some point on the show, but I've never seen that, which kind of surprised me. That was on the top 10 of 1982. And I agree with Dan on Tootsie for sure, and E.T. might get some heat on that, but I just can't stand that movie. It's the most saccharine, maudlin fucking Spielberg movie ever made, and I cannot stand it in any way, shape, or form. And what else is there to say about that? We got a big catchphrase coming up in Rocky 3, which I didn't know originated, but it did.
I'm back.
All right.
What'd you talk about?
I continuously talked, so
Good.
that was successful.
All right, listen.
I talked a little. Well, you'll hear it.
Okay.
But unfortunately, I had to delve a little bit into Rocky 3, but
That's fine.
We'll say it again. You can just say
Previously on Rocky, we start with.
Yeah.
And then there's a long montage where we hear the entire song "Eye of the Tiger" right off the bat.
That surprised me. I didn't remember that. Yeah.
And so now Rocky 3 is not a real movie. Right. It's we're just having fun now. So because we have to continue from Rocky 2, and at the end of Rocky 2, Rocky beats Apollo Creed in the rematch. And so he's now heavyweight champion. So what do you do with that? So what we do is we have this montage of Rocky being hugely famous now. We see him on like the cover of People magazine and shit.
Yeah, he is the Mike Tyson of his era. Yeah.
And hey, was Mike Tyson around yet in 1982?
No.
That's
not
surprising because Clubber Lang seems as much Mike Tyson as Apollo Creed did Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, Mike Tyson wasn't quite such a maniacal vocal beast. I mean, when he gave interviews, he barely spoke. But you just mean in terms of like the fear factor and like
just in terms of him being an unpolished fighter who gets by on like sheer power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, let's not say Mike Tyson isn't a monster. He is a serial rapist.
Yeah, right. I didn't mean that. I meant like, you know what I meant.
I gotcha. Okay, so the plot of Rocky 3 basically is Rocky's now the fucking champion. He's rich and famous, living the posh life in a mansion.
Big time.
I don't know where this mansion is in Philadelphia. And
suburbs.
And then there's a new challenger, this fella Clubber Lang, played by, as the credits say, introducing Mr. T.
Yep, even though it's his second movie. Yeah.
What was his first one?
I don't know, some piece of shit, but it's his second credit on the web.
I love Mr. T.
Yeah, he's my MVP. Show it right there.
Oh, not mine, but I love him.
Oh, well, interesting.
He's great. I mean, he's not a great actor the way like Carl Weathers was in the
No.
first, but like it's just he's such a fucking he holds the screen.
He's
Mr.
a great
T.
villain.
And that's what we're doing in this movie.
Yes.
Is there's a villain.
Stock
Because
villain.
Apollo Creed was not a villain.
No.
He was just the opponent to Rocky.
That's right.
Clubber Lang, I mean, all of his dialogue is about what a piece of shit Rocky is and how he wants to fuck Adrian. He literally comes out to the ring at the end of the movie wearing a black robe while Rocky is wearing a white one. Like,
Yeah.
it's a totally simple, our Rocky is our hero, and
Right.
Clubber Lang is our villain. And that's it. And I mean, they even raise the stakes, like, halfway through the movie when Mickey dies, kind of because of Clubber Lang
Yeah, he
starting to
pushes him
fight.
aside.
Yeah.
Oh, real quick, he was in a movie the same year as Rocky 3 called Penitentiary 2, playing himself.
Oy, who can remember that?
Oh, you got to see the poster for Penitentiary 2. Oh, while we're talking, you've got to look at this. It deserves
Really?
your... Oh, oh man.
Okay,
Woo.
I'm looking it up right now.
Looks like a... Oh, wow. Okay. Fantastic.
Penitentiary 2.
It's a franchise.
Yeah, let's cover it.
There were 3 penitentiary movies. Blaxploitation film. Yeah.
Really?
Hmm?
Penitentiary 2.
Ernie Hudson is in it.
Is it there's a lot of posters. Which one am I looking for?
The one on Wikipedia comes right up.
Oh, Wikipedia. Okay.
Mr. T's in the background on the poster.
I see him. Looks good. Yeah, okay.
That's going to happen.
Leon Isaac Kennedy is back in Penitentiary 2. He's too fast, too quick, and too fisted.
And his name is Too Sweet.
He's too sweet, and he's back for vengeance. Or for
So there
revenge.
you go, Mr. T.
Looks good.
Okay. But for all intents and purposes, this is Mr. T's.
It's all intents and purposes, not all intensive purposes.
I said intents and purposes. What do you mean now?
Okay.
You're just trying to get back at me for my erroneous corrections of you.
That's right.
Intensive. It's really intense, the purpose.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well, it is.
we open. There's an arcade because it's 1982 now, so we're in an arcade.
Great scene.
And we're not watching The Wizard with Fred Savage. It's Rocky 3. Paulie openly drinking a pint of Jameson,
Which he does in all 3 movies.
but usually in a bag.
Sometimes.
In this one, he's just got it out.
It's usually in his pocket, and he just pulls it out. Yeah.
And fucking he finds a Rocky pinball game, which I'm sure must have existed. It's probably
Sure.
based on the first movie or something.
Yeah, it probably wasn't even made for this movie. It was probably out there.
Yeah, and I just love that that it's a Rocky pinball game in the universe of Rocky, because when has that ever happened? Like, is there I mean, maybe there is. There was like a George Foreman video game, so maybe I'll give it to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, are you saying like within like a universe of a particular character that's self-referencing, or
No,
you mean-
I just mean like, are there boxing games about specific boxers?
Well, didn't Nintendo have a Mike Tyson game?
Yeah, Punch Out. You're right. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'll let it happen. And Paulie throws his pint of Jameson at this pinball game and destroys it, and it's great. And he goes to jail, and Rocky's got to bail him out. And Rocky's voice is wrong in this movie.
His voice is wrong. His look is wrong.
He's not Rocky.
He's not even in character. to
No,
me.
it's just Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely changed.
Yeah, like that voice we've been doing, like I'm Rocky, I'm an affable idiot.
Right.
Like, he's not that anymore. He's just like fucking Sylvester Stallone, and he's jacked to no tomorrow with steroids.
Yeah.
He looks fucking weird.
Can I quote something?
Yeah.
In preparation for film, Stallone claims
I
to
read
have
this bullshit.
claims to have got his body fat percentage down to his all-time low of 2.8% and weighed 155 pounds. He stated that he ate only 10 egg whites and a piece of toast a day, having a fruit every third day. Blah, 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 it goes on.
Can I edit that?
Yep.
In preparation for this film, Sylvester Stallone shot a hypodermic needle into his ass twice a day.
I love, too, that he's like 155 pounds. That's not heavyweight. I don't want to get into like what the classes are because I don't even know them, but you can't be 155-pound heavyweight.
Yeah, by the way, there's a line.
I weigh 155 pounds.
There's a line in the movie, Henry, where one of the announcers, they're like trying to justify it. They're like, you know, Rocky trimmed 20 pounds off his frame for this fight. He looks more like a welterweight. And I'm like, yeah, because he is.
That's accurate. Yeah, right. That's a commentator with some accuracy.
Yeah.
probably the same anti-Italian guy. In real life, it would be like, we're weighing in Rocky today. He's at 155 pounds, which actually, come to think of it, disqualifies him from this fight. So there is no match.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He looks like fucking... what's that, damn it. What's that boxer from the 90s? He was really major, and he was like a middleweight.
I don't know.
I
don't know my middleweight divisions that well.
Yeah, but he was like the only famous one.
Oh, well, I don't know, man. I don't know. Oscar de la Hoya? I don't know.
That might be who I'm thinking of, actually.
Who knows?
Yeah, Oscar de la Hoya. All right, anyway.
But it's just so sad because, like, in the first one, it's so clearly an actor with no money who's just big and in shape because he's big and in shape. And in this one, like, Stallone doesn't have to try anymore because he's got the money and the juice. And
he's not giving a performance in Rocky 3.
Well, I just meant his physicality, but too. Yeah, that too. He's just not, right.
Yeah. Rocky... I mean, part of that, I guess, because in the script they're saying he's gone soft because he's rich now and famous, and we see him shilling for American Express at the beginning of the movie, so I guess he's learned to read cue cards better.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, so now he's an excellent advertiser? He can do this stuff now?
He's a great pitch man.
He's a great pitch man all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And also going soft, if it was anything like reality, wouldn't he look more like De Niro in Raging Bull?
And speaking of going soft, he's on steroids.
Yeah, well, that's why I don't have another kid. You know, I only got one kid.
Yeah.
Couldn't have another one.
I bought Adrian a lot of fur, though. Adrian looks bonkers in this movie.
She looks great, though.
She doesn't look like Adrian, though.
No, she doesn't, but she looks fantastic. Talia Shire is a stunning woman.
Yeah, she is. I mean, what else could we talk about? Can we talk about the Hulk Hogan part?
Well, yeah, I was waiting for you.
Yeah. So Hulk Hogan, a real American, comes in. This is like an early Hulk Hogan, too. Like, he's still got hair, which is amazing. I don't even think he was in the WWF at this point.
I don't know about that.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
He might have been.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is when they were still trying to bill him as like he's 6'8" and fucking 300 pounds and shit.
Right.
Which, you know, I've got the biggest arm in the world, which like totally changed after a few years because at this point he was a heel. And
all right,
when they made Hulk Hogan a good guy, they had to like make him more of an underdog. And so they started putting him against guys like, you know, fucking Andre the Giant.
And King Kong Bundy.
Yeah. So they were like, look, you know, he's just like a small guy. He hulks out every so often or whatever.
The Running Man's King Kong Bundy.
Nice. So yeah, it's weird seeing Hulk Hogan as this unstoppable force because that's not really the character that he ended up becoming.
That's true, and we were talking a little bit before the show. I never knew Hulk Hogan as a heel. I always knew him as a good guy,
as a babyface. Yeah,
so that tells you something there because I started watching wrestling in the early '80s, and that bypassed me.
No, when you got into wrestling, it was Hulkamania time.
Yeah, right. Right.
You were a Hulkamaniac.
I was Hulkamaniac. He was never my favorite wrestler, but
nor mine. But he's fucking Hulk Hogan, and he deserves our respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I was saying when you were taking a piss, I was saying how he's got one of the you know, I thought Clubber Lang, that's a great fucking name. It really is. I think it's
good.
It's a great name.
But this guy's Thunderlips.
Thunderlips, not so great.
Yeah, you might as well call him fucking Dick Sucking Lip or something. I mean, it is weird, Thunderlips. And like, what are you even talking about? Like, Hulk Hogan doesn't have big lips.
Right.
Like, why would he be called that?
I don't know.
And his name is Hulk Hogan. It's already the perfect wrestling name. He could have just played Hulk Hogan.
It's true.
Yeah.
By the way, he's good though in this. Like when he has I like at the end of when they're finished their ridiculous fight where Rocky really should be probably in a body cast. Because as we do know, wrestling is not fake.
Yeah, I know. It's totally played real in this movie.
Well, no, but you know what I was saying there, like how everybody for years, you know, it's fake. Well, no, you do break bones and get.
It's choreographed.
It's choreographed.
Yeah.
But you fucking get hurt.
Yeah. But Hulk Hogan, one of the big knocks on Hulk Hogan from like real wrestling heads is he never took the big bumps like a lot of other wrestlers took.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, you don't see Hulk Hogan bleeding a lot. You don't see him falling. He's got a pretty low risk closing maneuver, like the leg drop.
Sure.
You know,
that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. He doesn't get quite as much respect from like the wrestling cognoscenti. He's considered important because of what he represents in wrestling, but in terms of risk taking and putting his body at risk, not so much.
He's not jumping from turnbuckles and shit.
No.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, I liked at the end there. I thought that was a nice moment when they're finished, and he like, what did Rocky say to him? He says something like, "You were pretty serious out there," you know, and he just says, "Hey man, got to put on a show."
Right.
Like I love that. Like the veil drops, and he just like they let him have a line of dialogue. I thought that was pretty funny. I didn't remember that. I thought that was a nice touch.
It is a nice touch, but the scene is insane because
and it goes on too long.
It does. But like, so Hulk Hogan here is like kicking the shit out of Rocky, and Rocky doesn't know that he's not being totally serious.
Right.
So like Rocky's trying to fight back and shit. And first of all, I don't care who you are as a wrestler will never beat a boxer in a straight fight.
That is true.
It's not going to happen.
That's true.
They did it once in the WWF.
Oh, okay.
They had a tournament. Because this was when like boxing was getting real popular in the mid to late 90s, and Ultimate Fighting was starting to become a thing too. Mm-hmm. And so they were like, well, in an effort to like make wrestling more real, we'll have like whoever wants to participate of our wrestling stable will have a tournament. They called it the Deadly Game, and they had them like actually box each other.
Wow.
Wrestlers. And then the winner of that tournament went on to a pay-per-view and fought Butterbean. You remember Butterbean?
Yeah, but he's not. He wasn't a. Was he? He's a wrestler.
No, he's a boxer.
He's a boxer. Okay.
Butterbean was a champion boxer.
Okay.
He's a big fat white guy.
Right. Maybe that's why I thought he was a wrestler.
No, he looks like a wrestler, and his name is Butterbean. But I mean, he was a boxer. So the winner of the tournament, the Deadly Game tournament, was this fella Bart Gunn. Okay. And God, and Bart Gunn fought Butterbean at this at one of the pay-per-views, and it was less than a round. And
it was real.
It was real, and Butterbean just knocked this guy the fuck out.
Yeah. I mean one.
It's worth looking up, Henry.
I think I will.
Yeah.
I think I will. I'm going to YouTube that. It's got to be on YouTube, right?
It must be. It's crazy.
Okay. All right.
It's like, oh my God, Bart Gunn's dead. And not only that, but like, there's a marching band at this induction ceremony, and they're performing "Gonna Fly Now."
Yeah, that's weird.
How is that song famous in these movies?
I don't know. And then his whole training sequence, which is fucking retarded. Remember
Don't
that
say
he's training in
retarded.
this hotel.
Yeah. Well, I know. And there's like a band, and
Oh my God!
it's so crazy.
Rocky has really lost his focus. Yeah.
I'd say so. And so then he's gonna fight Clubber Lang, and my favorite line is they're asking him, like, is this your last fight? And he says, this is the last one for sure. This is definitely the last one.
Well, first of all, I know we have to wrap up probably, but he gets his ass whipped first by Clubber Lang, so that promotes a challenge again to reclaim the title.
Right, of course. So, and Mickey's dead at this point.
And Mickey's Jewish. I didn't know that.
Is he?
What do you mean, is he? They give him an entire Jewish burial. And you get to see Sylvester Stallone saying shalom like 10 times.
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that.
You didn't?
No.
Yeah. I always kind of thought he was Irish. You just kind of said, but he's Jewish. Mickey Goldmill.
Mickey Goldmill. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking. Anyway.
So the big fight. Training montage.
Mickey dies, and like Stallone is at his bedside. I say Stallone because it's not Rocky. And he's horrible in that scene.
You mean like his crying and all that?
Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah.
We said some nice things about Stallone's acting in the first two.
Yeah.
No. That's out of your range, buddy.
I can't cry, but I can die.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna fly.
No.
It's a haiku.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, Apollo Creed offers to train him for his rematch with Clubber Lang,
Yeah.
and so they go to Los Angeles so Rocky can, quote, train like a colored fighter.
And Paulie can make every racist remark in the world.
Real
His
bad.
true colors really fly around this movie.
I'll tell you who else's true colors fly around.
Who's
Rocky and Apollo Creed, who are just gay for each other.
You mean, are you speaking of when they embrace in the waves in those tiny tank tops?
I can talk about so much of everything that happens in Los Angeles. I mean, that is the best part. It becomes an extraordinarily gay movie. Everyone's wearing half shirts, looking like fucking NFL Super Pro. No one will get that reference, but that's okay. And fucking the training montage is bonkers. They go running on the beach, and there are close-ups, like really tight close-ups,
Yes, there
of
are.
both Carl Weathers and Sylvester Stallone's thigh muscles,
Yeah.
just glistening in the sun.
Yeah. And it doesn't come across like it does in Predator, where it's just like funny and like so ridiculously macho,
it comes
you know.
with like testosterone in Predator.
Right.
In this movie, it is gay.
Yeah. It is. It really is.
And the sequence ends with them just having a fun little frolic in the ocean. Ooh, they're like splashing each other. Rocky, you've been a bad boy. No, you've been a bad boy, Apollo.
Oh, man.
They're just having a fun wee frolic.
Yeah, just a wee frolic for the boys and the
Yeah.
ocean waves.
It's cute.
Yeah, it is cute. It is. Oh boy,
It's cute. And
it is amazing.
I love it. I love it.
I don't even remember if do they train in the montage to Eye of the Tiger or Gonna Fly? Gonna Fly now comes back a little bit, right?
Yeah. It's Gonna Fly now.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they're flying, right?
They are. It's so
Like
crazy.
a couple of doves.
It's so crazy. And Sylvester Stallone continues to write himself sequences that he can't act properly. Because he has that fight with Adrian at one point.
Oh, on the beach.
Where she's like, "Tell the truth. Why aren't you,
Right.
you know, why don't you think you can win?" And he goes, "I'm afraid, all right?
Oh, boy.
I don't believe in myself no more."
Yeah, that was... Which is also a great scene because you gotta pity Talia Shire at this point because she has to act with him and she's still good.
Yeah, I know.
You know, she's still good and she's there sitting on a beach with this guy and has to like deliver this dialogue written for her that she is just trying to sound authentic and she's still great. But she's like, it's like acting with like cardboard. She must have had a tough time with that, you know? Or maybe she's just thinking, hey, it's a fucking paycheck, whatever.
Yeah, she's probably getting some bank for these movies.
Oh, yeah, at this point. Yeah.
Adrian dies eventually, right?
Yeah, I don't remember. I think maybe in 5 or she dies off screen and we find out later.
I think she might die off screen.
Yeah,
why does Mickey get an on-screen death but not Adrian?
I don't know. Well, I assume because by the time they came to Rocky Balboa, probably Talia Shire was like, I don't really need to do this anymore.
Or Rocky or Sylvester Stallone was like, well, do we really need to see Adrian?
You think he had that much? Well, I would say yes, we really do, Sly. We really do need her presence, to be honest.
Yeah.
To help you out.
Yeah, he's like, Talia Shire ain't hot no more. I can't be seen with her on screen.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
I hate to say it. That's probably what it was.
Yeah. You know.
Because she decided to age naturally.
Yeah.
And being 70 at this point, she's probably still a knockout. Who knows?
Yeah, and by the way, I know you don't like Star Wars Episode 7 so much, but good for Star Wars Episode 7 just letting Princess Leia look like how Carrie Fisher aged.
Fucking A, man.
Yeah.
Of course I agree with that. You know I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Carrie Fisher. She's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Of course. And, all right, so, I mean, do you have anything else? He beats Clubber Lang at the end of the movie, of course.
Yeah, with some strategy. I got strategy.
Barely.
Right. The strategy is to wear him out.
The strategy is to use your leg muscles. They're so
right.
glorious.
Because he learns rhythm like a black man.
Yeah.
That's harped on a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
By working out to Survivor.
Yeah, and Frank Stallone.
Yeah.
All right, so, I mean, what do you give Rocky 3?
I'm giving it 2.
I'm giving it 3.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I was on the fence. I almost gave it 3 because it is entertaining.
Yeah, and that's what I want to say about Rocky 3. It's not a real movie. Right. It's technically bad, but it's an hour and 40 minutes, so they they chopped 20 minutes off that runtime. I'm entertained all hour and 40 minutes. I wasn't bored watching it. I had fun watching it.
I did too. I'm gonna let you persuade me. Do you think I should push it up to a 3?
I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it because I was entertained. I mean, it is pretty bad, but by giving it a 2, I'm kind of equating it with some of the other movies we've done, and it's a lot better than some of those other 2-star movies I've given.
Yeah, you gave Superman Returns a 2, and you hated it.
Yeah, didn't I? Oh, I didn't give that a 1?
I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. So I'm going to give it it's a weak 3. Yeah, a weak 3. I probably will. I'll say this. I probably wouldn't, of all the Rockies, I would not watch this one again, I don't think.
See, I feel the opposite. I'd watch this one again before I watched Rocky 2.
Well, I don't think I'd watch either again, but yeah.
Because Rocky 2 is like a real movie. Like if I was going to put on a Rocky sequel, I would put it on to just like have a fun, weird time.
That's 4 for me.
Well, we'll get to 4. I haven't seen 4 in a long, long time. But
okay. I can't wait. Yeah.
I'm putting on Rocky 3. I get to see Hulk Hogan and Mr. T.
That's true. It's true.
Paulie's throwing a Jameson through an arcade game. Fucking, there's that weird training montage.
Yeah.
Paulie's
All
saying
right.
weird racist stuff for no reason.
Okay, you convinced me.
It's fun.
You convinced
And
me.
there's that fun moment at the end. There's like a mystery the entire movie that they're trying to set up.
Oh yeah,
Where it's
yeah.
like Carl Weathers is like, you don't have to pay me to be your trainer. You do me a favor at the end of the movie.
Right.
After the fight. And the favor turns out to be box me in private so I know which one of us is the better boxer. And
Right.
then it ends with them on their like first punch and it turns into a painting.
Yeah.
And it's insane.
Yeah. True.
Yeah, it's a really fun movie. And Eye of the Tiger is great. I like it. It's a good movie.
Yeah. All right.
I'm giving it a
So
solid
you've
3.
actually done the five. You've done the dissension. You've done 5, 4, 3.
That's right. But I've liked all 3 of these movies.
Yeah. Me
Yeah.
too. Me too. I've done 5, 3, 3. But
All
yeah.
right. MVP for me is Hulk Hogan. You said Mr. T.
Mr. T.
LVP Frank Stallone.
Frank Stallone.
Yeah. Do you have an actual LVP for this one?
No, it's Frank Stallone.
I kind of want to go Sylvester.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
As a writer, director, and actor, or mainly as an actor?
Mainly as an actor, honestly, because I think it's a pretty solid sequel as far as these things go.
Yeah.
But he's not Rocky. He doesn't feel like Rocky to me.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, as an actor, Sylvester Stallone, I'll go with.
And I got no superhero count again. I was kind of thinking maybe at some point or in some dimension that Mr. T or Hulk Hogan showed up in something, but they never did. So.
Excuse me, Suburban Commando.
I saw that stuff. Yeah, right.
That doesn't count for you?
I
How
don't
has
believe-
Hulk Hogan never been in a superhero movie?
I know. That's why I was surprised. I thought for sure he'd show up in something, but I don't want to. No spoilers for next week, but yeah.
Now we'll never be in one because he's got all that N-word stuff on his record.
Yeah, he's a mess.
Yeah. All right. Next week, tune back in. We'll be talking about Rocky 4 and 5.